Top 24 will advance into the quarterfinal round on Friday, and we are moving quickly here in Lexington as we move on to the men's 800 meters. Isaiah Harris of Penn State, the facility record set back in 2017, and Saruni of UTEP, the collegiate record, 1:43.25. Sam Whitmarsh of Texas A&M, 1:44.46, the top collegiate time this season.
I'm excited to watch the men's 800 because it's such a tactical race. This is perfect for people who think the 400 is too short, but the 1500 is too long. The 800 has speed and tactics. So if that's what you want, this is what you need to be tuned in.
That's why I chose it.
But you only ran it one time.
That's true. It was a few more than one time. I ran 1 year of track and field. That was about it. I think I finished in the top 10 of my district meets, so that tells you a little something about my speed. Not great.
So what I'm hearing is that you need to be out there on the track right now?
No, definitely not. We'll turn it over to the professionals. Keep an eye on Shane Cohen of Virginia, third at the ACC championships in the 800 meters. He will run out of lane 3. They will take one turn, and at the pole position, they will break into that pole lane.
Yes, one of the few events that you'll see that you'll be able to break in for the pole. So it's all about having good positioning. So when you break in at the pole or the cones or whatever they'll have for you, one thing a coach is always going to tell you is that you don't just want to cut straight across. You want to take a long diagonal to the front of the pack, so that way you're not getting boxed in, you're not tripping over anybody, and it gives you the best possible chances of getting to the pole first and being out in front. So if you cut in too quickly, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you take your time, you're going to be just fine.
And probably most importantly in what you just said, you keep your momentum as well.
Exactly, exactly. We've only got one more lap here for our 800 guys. They're all jumbled up together, but I think eventually we will see them start to spread out, similar to the 800 that we saw earlier today. Typically, you'll have somebody who's willing to take it out, who's like, hey, the race is about to end, and it's time for me to show my speed.
Justin O'Toole currently leading, and here comes Beck Wittstadt of Duke. He's the guy taking it out right now. He ran 1:47.19 during the regular season, 5th in this event at the ACC championships. The late charge coming from Shane Cohen of Virginia, and we have got a race at the front. Top 3 will advance on time. Wake Forest Reinhard Swainpoel, who was 2nd at the ACC championships, making a move. It's 2 ACC runners at the front. Cohen trying to make it a perfect 3. We've got tight battle. And Cohen of Virginia comes away a trip at the finish line. 1:49.53 for Cohen. Swainpoel of Wake Forest comes in 2nd. 3rd was extremely tight here in the 800 meters. Too close to call with the naked eye. It will be Ishii of Penn State, who was running out of lane 9.
Now, that 149 will be a little bit slower than what we're used to seeing with our guys here, but as we got to remember, they are going to run through rounds. But most of our guys, we see them running between 147, 145 is the guys that we have at the top of the list. But as I said, the 800 is a very tactical race. You don't want to expend all of your energy, and you want to set up properly when you want to kick.
And these athletes, they will have to run this 800 again on Friday, so trying to conserve as much energy as possible. Cohen through. There's a member of that first place DMR team for Virginia at the ACC Indoors back in February. So Cohen and Swainpoel walking it off. They've raced against each other a ton this season. They go 1-2. Strong ACC flair here to begin the 800 meters in Lexington.
Tanoda from Georgetown is another freshman that you guys need to watch out for, because he is your New Balance indoor champion from last year. I believe he won outdoors as well. He's your Trials of Miles champion. I mean, this kid has had an amazing list of high school athletic accolades before he got to Georgetown. He was also somebody to really watch out for indoors at NCAAs this year, and he's looking to be another freshman in that final going into Oregon.
Sean Dolan as well in lane 6. A look there, 1:45.83, the 2nd fastest time in the NCAA this season. He was the Big East champion in the 800 meters. Dan Watke of Villanova as well running in this race. So around the turn they go. After the turn, they will break to the pole position. And how much does it help if you're Dolan and Watke right now to have teammates running in this event to try to feed off of each other's energy?
Here's the thing. When you're racing with each other at practice, you're passing out together on the floor. You guys know each other so well. And so it's nice when you have somebody next to you and you're like, okay, you might be a couple steps ahead of me, but I know I can run with you in practice. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do that right now. Another thing is, like, you can be tactical as a team. Y'all can block people out. Y'all can make sure y'all are the first two to come across the line first. There's a lot of other tactical things that you can do when your teammate is in your race with you.
And we have certainly seen in these early stages at the prelims a little bit more tactical of races, so that could come in play here on the final lap.
Most definitely. If I was Sean and Dan, I would do everything in my power to make sure we was top 2 and ain't nobody getting past us.
Indiana's Nico Kulchiko pushing up into second place, and here comes Tanodo Mitsatsa, who you mentioned earlier, moving up into second.
He's going to be chasing down that Villanova runner. He is honestly a true freshman, and I feel like they're teaching him how to race with confidence at Georgetown, because to be so young and to do the type of things that he's doing in this event, I mean, there's no way that his coaches aren't teaching him to do something well. But I guess the Villanova runners heard me. I said, hey, don't let anyone get past you two. And so we've got a late surge from our other Villanova competitor, but it'll be Sean Dolan in first, Tanoda in second.
And Watke coming in third, 140.850. So Villanova does what they need to do. They get 2 runners on into the quarterfinals here in the 800.
Most definitely. And remember, the other reason why you want to have your teammates advance with you is because when we want to talk about team titles, getting to Oregon, making sure you get a trophy, making sure you get an All-American, making sure you're scoring points, that all goes towards whether or not your team will be placing top 4.
And Villanova certainly hoping to score some points in Eugene in both the 800, even the 1500 as well. So Sean Dolan of Villanova, 148.11. He wins as we get set for the third section here in the 800 meters. Dolan, the top time so far in the field. Tanoda of Georgetown in second. Watke, the top 3 finishers, going 1, 2, 3 in the top time so far across the first 2 sections.
It's always so funny when they show the videos of the athletes walking away, because my thought process is like, somebody needs to clip this and like do voiceovers of what they think that they're thinking after they're done racing.
Little John Boy action maybe in baseball, some bad lip reading, right?
Yes. We've got Heat 3. A lot of amazing athletes for us to pay attention to. Game faces on Tyrese Reed. I believe he is top 2 in general at the East Region Championships for Mississippi State. But Mississippi State is no stranger to 800-meter runners. They had an amazing athlete last year. He is a Jamaican athlete. His name is fleeing from me, unfortunately. This is what happens, my ADHD.
It happens every once in a while, right?
It does happen every once in a while. And he's also my friend, too, so he will be mad that I forgot his name. But as I said before, Mississippi State is no stranger to 800-meter runners, and I'm amazed that they've developed such a strong 800-meter team so far.
And Reed certainly no stranger to building big leads here early on. He's come out fast. Do you like that move from Tyrese Reed?
Hey, listen, if somebody is going to race with some confidence, it better be him. You cannot be top 2 or top 5 or top whatever the case it is at any championships and not take it out like you know something.
McInerney of Georgetown currently running in second. The late charge from Henry Johnson of Michigan moving up into third place with 1 lap to go. Penn's runner of Titus Bretsky currently running in 4th. Tightly bunched right now. When does the kick happen?
The kick happens when you want it to happen. This is the thing. Everybody learns very different race strategies when it comes to the 800. As I said before, Raven Rogers, she's the type of girl, hey, I'm going to wait till the last 50 meters to kick. Other people are taught to kick at the 200, at the 150, at whatever the case may be. And so as we see here, we've got a lot of people stumbling up. Tyrese is going to be in the middle of that, so hopefully he can shake back from that. But you're going to have different set of individuals out in front looking to make it.
McInerney out in front currently. Jack Balick of Wake Forest as well. The late charge coming from the Georgetown runner. So Georgetown goes 1-2 here in the third section of the men's 800 meters, broken up.
I know that Tyrese probably won't be feeling great about that.
It looked like there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and I don't think Tyrese Reed ever fully recovered from that.
Most definitely. But, you know, the name that I forgot, Navasky, is the other, you know, former Mississippi State runner in the 800. So I'm sure that he's learned a lot of great things from him mentally, physically. He might be able to talk to him after this about, hey, what are some things that I can do in the future to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen again? Because they just want to make sure that, you know, like when stuff like this happens, you can recover from it mentally and especially physically, because that's where it matters the most.
And I think most importantly, in the midst of all that jockeying, staying in the track and not finding yourself DQ'd.
Most definitely, because if you step off that track, if you push somebody a little too hard, or if you fall and don't get up, you will have a DQ, and that's the last thing that we want.
Tyrese Reed now squarely on the bubble. 150.66 for Mississippi State, 17th right now. Top 24 advances, and we've still got 3 more sections to go, so things not looking good right now for Tyrese Reed. As we move on to section number 4 here, Robon Handel of Penn State running in lane 3, a name to keep an eye on, as well as Nick Plant of Virginia Tech. He was 4th in this event at the ACC Championships, also 4th in the 800 at the NCAA indoors earlier this year.
Most definitely. As you said before, this is Heat 4. Oh, I can rap. Heat 4 before.
Hey, you got to break it out every once in a while, right?
Yes, and here we are.
I will say, you're not quite to Flau'jae Johnson level in terms of the rapping, right?
One day I'm going to be like Flau'jae, and y'all not going to be able to tell me nothing.
I got to admit, I've had a ton of fun, me and my wife, over the last couple of weeks watching ESPN's documentary, Full Court Press, on the growth of the women's game. If you have not watched it yet and you're a fan of women's sports, I'd tell you to go check it out.
Well, let me make sure that that's on my list of things to do after this meet is over today.
Some good watching later on in the night. We've got some good watching here in the 4th section, and it's Zach Hughes of NC State who's off to a good start. NC State, they've been a powerhouse program primarily on the women's side in the mile, some of the distance events. They train them well in Raleigh.
Most definitely. The name that you guys will definitely know from NC State is Caitlin Tui. She is now a professional athlete. We're hoping to see her out racing sometime soon and even possibly become an Olympian this year. But regardless, as you said, NC State is a powerhouse when it comes to the distance racers, and I think the guys are looking to be up there with their girls.
So deep into the second lap here, some pushing and shoving at the front. That's Harrison Witt of Princeton, who moves up into first place. And you said it, some athletes kick a little bit earlier. Witt clearly went with about 200 meters to go.
Most definitely. These guys started spreading out early, okay? Because usually this is about where, you know, they'll still be jumbled up and somebody will make that kick. But everyone pay attention to Handel Robon. He was all the way at the back, and he's recovered excellently. He could come across first. It's about who wants it more, but it is going to be Harrison Witt out in front, Handel Robon coming in second. 148.70. Man, that was crazy to watch. He was really all the way down in the back. He put a Parvej Khan on everybody.
A great start there. Witt, Robon, and Plant going 1, 2, 3, and Harrison Witt ran an excellent race, kicked at the right time.
Okay, and here's the thing. This is why coaches say the race ain't over until it's over, because if Handel would have said, oh my God, I'm in the back, 200 meters to go, there's nothing left for me, I can just give up now, he would not be second and he would not be making it to the first round. But he said, you know what, no, I'm going to suck this up. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm going to take it to the line.
Hey, there's something to be said about the finality that a meet like this creates. You start to realize my season could be over if I can't make a comeback. He clearly took that to heart and finishes in second. So fifth section as we move quickly into the men's 800 meters. And in this fifth section, keep an eye on Dujon Blackman of Hampton, 146.67, another HBCU athlete, as well as Tyrese Roden of Clemson running down in lane number 8. Multiple champions of the Patriot League, CAA, Ivy, and ACC all running in this section.
It's the meet of champions. Noah, we've talked about this. Everyone, this is where the best are. I mean, half of them are in the West.
That's fair.
We're not talking about the West. We're worried about the East Regional Championship.
East side, right?
Okay, East side, where it's at. But this is the meet of champions, Noah. If you're not ready to be a champion, you might as well go home.
A lot of pressure, but with that pressure comes big opportunity. Fifth section here, the men's 800 meters. Next 3 AQs on the line. Again, also paying attention to the times here. You want to put yourself in a position, if you're not in that top 3, to perhaps get through on time. The next 6 fastest do.
Most definitely. We're coming through at that cut-in.
And Tyrese Roden of Clemson off to a good start. He was the ACC champion in the 800 meters, was 5th at the NCAA indoors earlier this year. Also won the ACC championship at the indoors, so he's had a strong year, looking to continue that here in Lexington.
Most definitely, and I believe that he can if he continues to stay calm. He looks really smooth, but also I just want to talk about the guy from Hampton. Let me tell you something. I don't know much about him, but anybody that's wearing sunglasses, you know that's people that you don't want to race, especially when it's no sun outside. You know, there's this TikTok going around that's like, there's specific type of people that you never want to get in a fight with. There's specific type of people that you never want to race with, and it's people that's wearing sunglasses when it's no sun outside, because them people are dangerous.
He was the CAA champion, Dujon Blackman of Hampton, and he takes the lead on the backstretch in this final race. I'm glad someone keeps up on the TikTok culture. I'm not much of a TikToker.
Unfortunately, I do keep up on the TikTok culture. I probably need to put my phone down because my screen time went up over the past week.
You get that notification on Sundays too, don't you?
I sure do. But that is going to be Hampton and Clemson out in front together, both looking super strong. The tallest guys in the field, honestly, using that length and that speed to make sure that they're advancing into the next round.
And Tyrese Roden will indeed, and all he does is win. Roden taking the 5th section of men's 800 meters. He comes in first with a time of 1:47.89. Fastest time, Luke Reiner of Army comes in second. Andrew Regnier of North Carolina, and Blackman with the good-looking shades runs a 1:48.15. That's probably going to be good enough on time to get through. This was a fast section.
Most definitely. You guys just saw Tyrese take off his shoes. I don't know if you guys remember that video. Maurice Green, when he was running so fast that his shoes caught on fire. Somebody bring out the fire extinguisher for this guy, because as you said, all he knows how to do is win. He's going to run a 1:47.89. I mean, he doesn't even look fazed by this. He's like, it's just another day in the office for him.
I'd be on the ground sucking wind after I ran as fast as he just did.
I promise you, if Coach ever told me that I would have had to run an 800 at any point in time,
you might have quit.
Yeah, that might have been the last day of me being a Kentucky track and field athlete or an Ithaca bomber, because I wouldn't be able to do it.
A little bit too far of a bridge to cross. Roden with the shoes off, a strong performance, and now we move on to the final section of the men's 800 meters. Camden Marshall of Indiana will run out of lane 7. He was second in this event at the Big Ten Championships. Also keep an eye on Zephaniah Carrico McGlennon of Sanford, 1:47.42 on the year. He was the SoCon champion in the 800.
Oh, yeah. 2 Florida kids in this heat together. They will also probably be trying to do the same tactics of like, hey, let's make the top 3, let's get top 2, and make sure that everybody has to go through us if they want to win.
Osama El Boushaibi as well for Alabama. Just the second time that he is running an outdoor 800 on the season. Ran a season best 1:46.47 in his first attempt. Can he build on that here and get into the quarterfinals?
I think think he can. And that's because I'm a super optimistic person. I ain't never going to sit here and be like, oh, somebody can't do something. Because the one thing about track and field, somebody is always going to do something. Everybody can do something impossible.
If you're thinking about times right now, 1:49.06 might be a pretty good time if you're not in that top 3 if you want to get through into the quarterfinals. But you'd love to just take the intrigue out, finish in the top 3, right?
Exactly. People know what they got to do, as we talked about before. This is the last heat. You know what the bubble time is. Hopefully, if they're paying attention to the scoreboard, because obviously they don't have their phones. But if they do know what the bubble time is, at least they can rest knowing, like, hey, this is how I need to strategize this next 800 meters to make sure that I'm advancing through to the next round.
About 300 meters remaining, and Darius Smallwood of Penn State continuing to lead the field. Looking for the kicks here. Some great camera shots as they come around the curve on the back stretch. Indiana runner running in 4th, moving up into 3rd. Alabama's Osama El Boushaibi has taken the lead, trying to build on a strong 2nd opportunity here in the 800 meters. He's moved up into 1st place.
The best thing I always say, a runner is going for it once they start throwing their neck back or throwing it to the side. And Osama, he is just throwing it back, coming through the line with his glasses on. That couldn't be me, because if it's raining, I'm not trying to have windshield wipers on my glasses. But regardless, 1:46.93 to be the fastest time of the day, corrected to 1:46.94. I told y'all, once they throw the head back or to the side, they mean business.
Camden Marshall comes in 2nd. Darius Smallwood in 3rd. Ryan Maceman, 1:47.72. That's going to be fast enough to get through on time. And Karim Ahayan of Northeastern probably gets through as well.
Were you racing like this that one year you ran in track in high school?
I never sniffed under 2 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, my 800 PR is, what?
Should we just not talk about it?
Hey, people can talk mess about my 800 meter time. I don't care. Just don't go look up my T-Friends, because if y'all talk mess about my 400 meter time, then we're going to have to box.
So look there at the results from the men's 800 meters. Therese Roden took off his shoes. He put up one of the top times for Clemson, and 5 runners in that final section in the top 5 times of the 800 meters. They ran fast. They knew the time they needed to beat, and they did it.
I mean, hey, if the leader is going 1:46, I would fully expect the next couple of guys to come through to also be up there. Oh my goodness, usually you kind of expect the last heat to be a little bit slower or pretty average, but these guys did the exact opposite. They said, you know what, we want to be the best of the best. We might be last, but that don't mean we bad.
7 of the 8 in that final section advancing into the quarterfinals. Well, we are continuing on here.